Hi you guys, welcome to week 5. We're going to get started on the civil rights movement, which I'm very excited about. The activities I have you guys doing this week and the layout this week is a little bit different from the weeks before, so I wanted to make this video just so the setup this week is completely clear and you guys know what's going on. So when you're at our homepage and you click on week 5, you'll be brought here. You'll see you've got the directions button, which you probably already clicked on because it brought you to this video. And then you only have 2 buttons this week, one for an interactive notebook and one for the Edpuzzle. But these 2 items are related to one another. You need to use them together, and I'm going to show you how. So first, let's walk through this interactive notebook. Alright, so when you click on the interactive notebook, you'll be taken to this Google Slides. And the first thing you'll notice, and you really need to pay attention to this because I will be so disappointed if somebody screws this up, do not start typing on this copy. The very first thing you're going to do when you open this up, you're going to go File, Make a Copy, Entire Presentation. When you get there, rename it. I want you to put your last name, your first name. I do have a first name. Oh, accidentally leave part of that. And then just leave the rest of the normal title. So it'll read last name, first name, interactive notebook, True Justice. Okay? And then just go ahead and save that wherever, and you will use your copied version to complete this activity. Alright? So once you've done that, I'm going to walk you through what the rest of this notebook looks like. So in this notebook, you have interactive elements that you can edit. So for example, on this page is just a pre-work, prep work page. Don't have to do any research for this page. It's really just to get you thinking about some really bigger overarching ideas. But you'll see on these pages when you need to type your answer, you can go ahead and click on the text box and just go ahead and start typing your answers. Pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. When you get to this page, you'll see you have some photos, you have some text. So this is kind of like a little, almost like a drag and drop kind of game. So you put titles, you can put pictures, you have some typing to do. Feel free to move the text boxes around or change font sizes if you need to fit stuff. But that's another example of an activity you're going to do. So everything up until here is separate activities to do before you watch the Edpuzzle, which is a documentary. This is your prep work, okay? And then once you get here, you're going to start watching the documentary, and you'll answer these questions while you go. These look like a lot, but a lot of these questions are like, this is a combination of short answers, so a lot of these questions just have like a sentence or a one-word answer. And some of them have some more thought-provoking questions, but there's a good mix in there, and you should be able to answer them while you go. So you're going to do those while you watch the Edpuzzle. So let's go check out the Edpuzzle. Alright, so this week's Edpuzzle is part of a documentary called True Justice. It's about Bryan Stevenson, which, side note, if any of you guys have seen the movie Just Mercy, well, if you haven't seen the movie Just Mercy, I definitely recommend you guys watch it. I rented it on Amazon to watch it. There might be some other ways to watch it, but it's basically the true story of Bryan Stevenson, who is an attorney that created the Equal Justice Initiative, and Just Mercy is specifically about his kind of landmark court case where he got a man. He's given a case of a man who's convicted of a murder, who's put on death row. He's an African-American man, and Stevenson believes that he's innocent. But the whole story is about them overcoming kind of the antiquated laws and the racial tension in the South to hopefully free this man. But this is the true more of the true story of Bryan Stevenson and the Equal Justice Initiative. And so you might be wondering, thought we were starting civil rights. Isn't the civil rights movement like Martin Luther King in the 1950s and 60s? And the reason I wanted to start the civil rights movement with this documentary is for a couple of reasons. And one is that one takeaway I want you guys to know about the civil rights movement is that we do sometimes plop it into like the 50s and 60s with Martin Luther King, but the civil rights movement and racial inequality in general is so much bigger than that. And this documentary does a really good job of encapsulating that, of one, telling you the history of how racial inequality begins in the United States, but also talking about how racial inequality still exists today and why these historical events play a part in that. And this documentary also really lays the groundwork for how the civil rights movement happens and why it happens when it does, and kind of the overarching themes. You know, it's really important to know dates and names, but I really want to lay the foundation for you guys about some bigger, really important ideas, and I think this documentary does a really great job of it. I also think it's really engaging and really entertaining and really interesting. At least I think so, but you know, I'm a history nerd, but I think you guys will think the same thing too. You will see there are some Edpuzzle questions on the side, but you'll see they're mainly multiple choice and they're mainly very obvious answers. These are just to keep you guys engaged. Really the only way you guys can, I guess, let me down this week is if you don't give this documentary the respect that it's due. There's some really powerful stories in here, and I really think you guys will like it. So please just give this the time and the effort that it's due. You'll see the documentary is about an hour, and I think once you answer the Edpuzzle questions in the notebook, that will be your 2 hours for the week. But just let me know how it goes, and I'm really excited to hear about it. As always, let me know if you have questions, but we will talk again soon.